I was going to say, how have you managed the challenges of roster management in terms of transfer portal and COVID years, like how you may have begun to evolve your process? Because, I mean, it used to be the days of everybody had 13 scholarships, use them all, and now it seems like you've got to be ready to pivot at a moment's notice like we've seen before.
Well, I do. I think, you have to be in a position to pivot, alter, and change. One of the things in recruiting, there's two boxes that I feel like for me that I always have to check. There has to be a need, and then there has to be a want. And so, I could want somebody. If we don't need them, I won't recruit them. And if we, want them, but we need them when we don't want them, I won't recruit them. And so, whether it's the transfer portal, high school kids, or whatever, the foundation point is checking those two boxes and making sure things, whoever we add to the team fits. And I feel really good. I feel really good about our team last year, and I feel really good about our team this year in terms of developing guys that have particular roles to make this a really good basketball team.
Some of that better team, is your approach at all any different now that you've got the guys back and you go next level, or maybe get a little deeper into what you did?
No, I went next level on them last year. I only have one level, and it's on. And so there's no difference in approach this year compared to last year. The attention to detail, the focus on our preparation, our practice, and letting our play speak for itself. Those are the things that I consistently talked about last year, and those are the things that I've consistently talked through the off season and at the beginning of practice.
How comfortable are you a different head coach than a year ago approaching it for the first time?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a difference in me as a head coach this year compared to last year. I've said this before. I've always, being in this role is a place of humbleness and thankfulness to be in this position. It's always been about giving back and giving to these players and to this university everything that Coach Smith and Coach Guthridge gave to me. And I love being in that position. I love this job. I've always wanted to be a part of this program, and to say that I've been able to be a part of it as a player, as an assistant coach, and now as a head coach is a really cool deal.
This program's mission is always win a national championship. When we talked to the kids in July, and then you heard RJ today, several of them said championship or bust. Are you okay with that mindset?
I'm okay with them saying that. For me, I don't look at it that way. For me, the thing that one of the many things that I loved about last year is I felt last year's team reached its full potential. And I think everybody would say last year was a successful year. Well, last year we didn't win a national championship, but I felt like it was a very successful year. That is my determination. That is my hope this year, is that this year's team reaches its full potential. My hope in reaching our full potential puts us in a position to be where we were last year and maybe change the narrative and be the last team standing on Monday night. But the focus and the process for me is on the practice, on the preparation, on the process, and letting our play speak for itself.
Do you like how they've approached that with you, and just with the work ethic and every element of it?
That's fine. I don't mind the differences of approach as long as the foundation of what we're doing is the same. And it's the same. We are all aligned. There is a hunger and a thirst, and it's coming from many different directions from the former players. There's a hunger and thirst amongst the freshmen who saw what happened last year from the sidelines, and now they're front row and center. And then the addition of Pete Nance, who has never been to the NCAA tournament, there's a hunger and thirst coming from him as well. So it's coming from different directions, but they're all aligned in trying to become the best team possible. And so I like, wherever you come from, as long as our foundation point is the same, which I know and believe that it is, then I'm happy where we're at right now.
Hubert, we know you returned 4 starters. That's been pretty well documented.
Yeah.
The one that you did lose was pretty good from beyond the arc. Based on what you've seen in practice, I know it's early, but what gives you the confidence that you can kind of, keep up that outside shooting and keep that as a part of this team?
Well, we have a number of guys that can shoot the ball from the outside. Yes, Brady was fantastic for us last year, but going into this year, we weren't looking for a Brady Manic replacement. Brady is Brady. Pete is Pete. Dontrez is Dontrez. Puff is Puff. And so we, the reason why that we wanted and needed Pete was because of his skill set, his talent, his ability. And so it's not a situation of that would be negligent on my part to ask anybody to fill a role in which they would have to play like somebody else. I want them to be their own player, their own unique way that they bring value out there on the floor. And I like where our team is at. I like the potential that we have, and see what happens this year.
Duke and Louisville both made a hire similar. Those guys are going to go through a similar thing that you went through. That 3 schools in this league now will have coaches, first-time head coaches, played at the school where they were coaching.
Well, for me, it's and that's why I can say that it's not a job for me. It's missionary work, because it's a place that I've experienced. It's a place that I have always wanted to be a part of. I think it's also unique. Not only myself have been a player at Carolina, every assistant has played at Carolina, with the exception of one of our wives. All of our wives have gone to Carolina as well. And so I think, all the experiences shared between all of us, I think it's a big deal. It speaks to what this place is about, and you look at it differently. You don't look at it as a job. And so I would assume that everybody else feels the same as I have felt, and all of our assistant coaches feel at working at North Carolina.